But try to win the die roll, play one of his 3-drop enablers, and then play Lashweed Lurker on turn 4. If he gets to do that, I think he has a decent chance. But if he doesn't, and Alon's draw is normal, it's going to be pretty difficult. Especially, Alon has a few shocks in the main. If he gets to shock the first enabler creature that Kenneth plays, then I think the game is just over. Because if he uses his enablers to chum block, then he's not getting any of his emerge creatures out, so he really has to keep one on the board.
Yeah.
Kijk, en daar heb ik er dan afgemaakt.
So we have the most aggressive 2-drop in Alan's deck already. On the board.
He's been very good at playing it on turn.
Yes, he is.
Good strategy, and I see that Kenneth is on the play and has an enabler on turn 3, so this he actually is in this, I think.
Yeah.
In his hand, I see.
So if Alan doesn't have the shock here,
and there is a Lashweed Lurker in his hand, so if Alan doesn't have a shock here, I think Kenneth is actually advantaged.
I see a red card though that looks shock-like.
Yeah, and he kept the red mana open, so.
But he has to play it.
He has to. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So Kenneth draws a card.
So that was a shock on the cultist and a long tusk cub coming into play. Alan has 3 energy left.
Okay. Dus geen pre-made, dat is ook al niet slecht.
And this is where Kenneth is in trouble, because he's going to be taking probably 7 next turn, and then probably even a Lurker is just too slow.
A Primal Druid is
it's a good blocker.
It's a good blocker. I know but the cub will be a 3/3.
Yeah. Well, he can use it as a speed bump, but then again, he still needs to have another turn to play an enabler and have another turn to play an emerge creature. So it's
actually next turn he can go 3-cost enabler into Wretched Griff, which is something.
That's true. Yes, that's true. But the Wretched Griff is only going to trade for one of these creatures, because the cub is probably going to be big enough. Oh, and here's Arlen Court. I think he has to go for maximal pressure here.
So he chooses to make a token and transform, so we're scrolling down to the next version.
So next turn he has the shock effect of Arlen up, which is also really, and he can give all his creature trample. This is not looking good for Kenneth. And I think, so he's not even blocking. He's not blocking because he wants to play the Lashweed Lurker next turn.
Yeah. It bounces a permanent, right?
Yes, it puts a permanent on top of the library, actually. Oh, and he can get another Lashweed Lurker here. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, that's what he does.
So he can. I know you still need double.
But he can. Yeah, but he can play one this turn and one next turn. But against the Arlen Court, still going to be tough here, I think.
Thank you. Oh, nice.
I think.
Again? Nice. Blijf gaan.
I think he has to bounce a creature here, probably.
Freeze yourself, nice. Okay. Nu gewoon blijven gaan. Wall.
Because if he doesn't, he's just going to go way too low on life.
Ja, dat is wel eens aan de vraag proberen.
Dat is een mooie poging.
I think I would probably bounce the cub here.
He has 2 energy right now.
Yeah, he bounces the cub and he's going to. I think he's going to have to block next turn, so he's still not out of the woods yet. Does Arlen Court actually go to the face? It does, right? I think it's a lightning bolt effect.
It's 3 damage.
I feel great.
Target creature or player.
So. So, if
Kenneth's turn around.
No,
Alan's
it's
turn,
Alan's
right?
turn.
Yeah.
It depends. He still has 4 cards in hand. Depending on what they are, his plays will differ wildly here. It's entirely possible that he's just winning this turn
Ik heb dat gemaakt ook.
because Kenneth is virtually at 6. So if he has a pump spell, it's more or less.
A lot of his pump spells are in the sideboard,
That's
so
true.
Ik heb dan
he has
mijn
Blossoming Defense
om eruit
and
te krijgen.
High Spire
En
Infusion.
mijn ult geeft mij ook een lage
Highspire Infusion would be very good here because
That puts him to
yeah,
1.
yeah, but
He
then
gave
but
+1/+1
but
trample
his
now.
and his Voltaic
Okay,
Brawler
so
would
we'll
also survive, so that's just that's going to end the
Okay,
game here. Yes.
I retract that statement.
So this is going to be 6 damage, I think.
The Brawler is a 4, 5, 7, 5.
A 7-5. Oh, it's a 7-5.
Yeah, he +1'd the Arlin.
Yeah, so it has +1. So
And
it
the
has 6
ability-
toughness, right? And the ability.
7, 6, yeah, sorry.
So this game is over. I don't see how.
They want a silver medal?
I guess if he has Kozilek's return and a mountain.
It's irrelevant because
No, he-
Arlin will kill him next turn.
Yeah, that's true. No, so this game is over.
Yep,
Okay, and Kenneth realizes it.
and Red-Green Energy does what Red-Green Energy does again. Let's have a look at the sideboards. So, for Kenneth, we have 4 Rabbit Bites, 4 Negates, 4 It of the Horrid Swarm, and 3 Natural State. Neither of which are terribly exciting against Alan, to be honest.
No,
I
actually,
think it
it of
might
the Horrid
be the
Swarm
one that draws him the most time.
maybe it might actually be a little bit better than Wretched Griff, I think, because it blocks better and it gives you a few chump blockers. So I would think that maybe he will side those in instead of the Wretched Griffs, but otherwise I don't see anything he can do here.
That will be my guess as well. And we
And-
see Kenneth taking 4 green cards. So I don't think he.
Maybe it could be that he's taking out the grapple with the past because those are more of his late game cards. And
he put in 4 cards.
he
and
put in 4 cards.
now
okay.
we'll see what he's taking out. In the meantime, Alan.
Yeah, so in Alan's deck, he has a lot of pump spells in the sideboard. He has Larger Than Life, Uncaged Fury, and Prey Upon, all 4 ofs, and 3 Appetite for the Unnatural, which is not relevant here. But I would definitely bring in the Prey Upons because those are very good tempo-oriented removal. His creatures match up very well against the enablers, so I would definitely bring those in. And I would actually look at also bringing in some of the pump spells, taking out probably his higher drops like Riparian Tiger and maybe something like Spontaneous Artist, because I think he will just win on 2 drops and 3 drops. The Emerge deck does not play any removal, or almost no removal, so he doesn't have to be afraid that he's going to lose because he doesn't have any creatures.
Yeah, I agree. So we have 5 slots for sideboarding.
Yeah, so I would bring in the 4 Prey Upon and then probably, I'm guessing, actually Larger Than Life doesn't look too bad in this spot because it's
But
more
Uncaged
mana
Fury
efficient.
is.
But Uncaged Fury on one of his trample creatures is probably even better. I would actually maybe even look at taking out Blossoming Defense.
Yeah, he has no.
Yeah, I would also take out the Blossoming Defense.
Yep. Okay, our players are ready. So we're going into opening 7s soon.
There's actually also a small chance that he wants to take out the High Spire Infusions. This is kind of counterintuitive, but I think there's a chance he wants to take out the High Spire Infusions and put in the Larger Than Lives, because the Infusions don't give him trample, so he can get in even more damage with the Larger Than Lives.
Okay, and we're on our way.
Is it an attune with the Aether for Alan?
Nice.
So, Primal Druid for Kenneth. Like, let's try to sculpt the kind of game that Kenneth would
Ah, this is a
This
decent
could
start.
also be interesting, yeah.
Oh god.
So, the thing is, it's not gonna transform now. What he really wants is for it to transform, which won't be happening.
No, probably not.
Ja, je hebt sowieso al... Ik weet niet wie dat ook
Take roller.
There's a very small chance if he kept in his grapple with the pass that he can pass here and grapple in his opponent's turn. But I don't know if that's really a winning strategy here. Alan again starting off with his best 2-drop.
I
actually,
think he played this one in every game on turn 2
I think
already.
so too.
Ribbit bites after all.
Wow, so he actually brought them in.
I think
I did not
he's-
expect that. But
I think he's allowed to play them on the draw.
Ik heb een ult. Ik zal
On
no,
the
on
play?
the play, yeah. They're a lot better on the play than on the draw.
Let's go.
Hij heeft maar 2 energie en heeft al met tune gespeeld en dingen.
Ja.
Eenvoudig. Dus wat gebeurt er? Is dat
Mistrigger. Ja.
Mistrigger?
Ja.
This is actually a very, very good play for Kenneth because now he's way ahead. If but he only has forests in play. I
Yes.
think. So that might be a problem in a longer game.
So just to mention, there was a mistrigger here that we're going to. Well, he forgot it, so a mistrigger like normal. This isn't the same as the Kalitas situation in our first match, which was a replacement effect. They're technically a bit different, even though I realize that to most players they look like the same. Just you'll have to trust us on that.
I trust you, Nils. You notice Alan putting his cup to the side, so maybe the Duskwatch recruiter doesn't see it. Ooh, and here's the shock.
Yeah, that was pretty telegraphed. I'll be interested to see how. I hate. Interested to see how Alan will re-evaluate shock after these matches, because he's only playing 3.
Yeah, and I think he should have 4. Definitely have a 4th one in this side.
Yes.
Dat helpt massas veel in de combat in de lucht springen en terug.
It's just so good in this kind of a deck to have a turn, like being able to play one of your good 2-drops and have a shock as removal is just a really tempo positive play.
Yeah, I even think
I
this
think
is.
Alan should use his counter here. And oh, he didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
I would be trying to max out my removal here,
So
my
also-
damage output here.
Yeah. Also, Alan chose to keep the spontaneous artists in.
Yeah. I guess then he probably brought in less pump spells. That would be.
Yep.
So actually, Kenneth has the Kozilek's return in his hand, but both of the creatures will be 2-drops. So will be 3.
That'll be
I'm
interesting.
really, yeah. Wow, I'm really tired. Sorry,
Yeah,
chat.
don't worry, I made stupid mistakes already.
So I think what Kenneth wants to do here actually is play it at the end of the turn and then hope that Alan plays another creature here and then sweep everything away by playing an Eldrazi next turn, and that would put him way ahead on board.
Je hebt een ult?
Yes.
Dat staat bij ons?
That would be rather. He has a Lashweed Lurker. Yes, he has the Lashweed Lurker. So he has the.
Dan kun jij je ult er ook bij poppen.
Yeah, that's a Hydra.
Bristling Hydra.
Oké, let's go.
Actually, interestingly enough,
Ultimate activeert, crash dat instantly, dus kun je double jump.
so he's going to give it haste.
Yep.
Interestingly enough, no, he doesn't have enough to save his Hydra, so it doesn't matter for the next turn because Kozilek's return
Nee,
deals
maar je hebt ze
5.
goed tegengehouden. Like, dat was
Kenneth
een
needs
heel
to
goede
keep
move.
his
Yes,
primal
the
ruler.
Vulture
alive,
So he's
yeah.
going to take a
Het is wat ze
Yeah, he
zeggen.
has to
30
take
word
this in.
amount of damage now.
So he's gonna take 7,
10.
8, 9.
Probably
9 to a,
10.
a possible 12 actually, because there's 6 more energy.
Yes.
Ja,
I think
zo'n rondom mij.
knowing Alan, he'll want to keep 3 energy and will
Yeah.
only pump once.
I think so too. That
ja,
seems
daar.
like this.
Wauw.
But he will get
Slaying.
2 energy when his cub hits. So I
true.
think I would
Yeah.
I would put 2 counters on here.
Ik had meer verwacht.
Then in response,
Expected more of
Yeah,
myself.
this is
Could jump that in.
this is actually not a good play for Kenneth, because by doing this he allows Alan to put another counter
Is that
on.
a back
yeah,
or
it's
mid?
lost energy.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
That's een
No,
Ah,
no,
no,
it
it goes
doesn't.
to
He,
6.
he does it instead, and then he goes to 6 on the next turn.
Ik heb een silver.
Yeah.
But the Lashweed Lurker will put it on top, so that's still that's actually still fine.
Yeah.
Ik vind het jammer dat Play of the Game echt al puur op kills en damage gericht is. En niet echt gelijk. Ah, wel gelijk. Ik heb mooie
Damage.
plays gedaan.
8 damage.
11
damage.
11-4 goes to 4. He's actually in a decent spot here. It
He'll
doesn't
get
look
to
like
play a
it.
fatty on an empty board.
It doesn't look like it, but he's actually doing pretty well.
Ja. Ja, we zitten in.
So,
We zitten in.
let's have a look at Kozilek's return first, because we've been talking about it, but our viewers haven't been able to see it. It's an instant little sweeper that deals 2 damage to each creature, but whenever you cast an Eldrazi creature, a big one, you get to cast it, in between brackets, again from the graveyard, dealing 5 damage to each
Cool.
creature.
Dit is de Magic Violence.
spel juist gespeeld was er nooit geweest. Het spel juist gespeeld was er nooit. Je hebt 4 damage in totaal.
Ja, ik weet het, ik heb het ook gezegd. Maar ja.
Ik ga dan in de plek campen, dat is mijn ding.
Ik vind dat heel goed.
So we have the Lashweed Lurker.
Je hebt gelijk 4 boxes op mij. Allemaal van die lunar boxes.
Ah, dan moeten ze niet open doen, hè?
Ja, maar ik
So the cool thing here is that this happens with the cast trigger.
Dus,
Yes,
I think so.
the
The
lurker
Lashweed
is
Lurker
still on the
stays in
stack.
play. Yes.
Yeah, the Lashweed trigger won't, Lashweed Lurker won't be in play when the Kozilek's return sweeps the
like, door
board.
deze verdediging gaan ze nu niet echt direct raken.
Maar dat was de laatste keer ook, hè? Met Kill
En op zich, ik kan. Het leuke aan Winston is, Winston countert zijn metro zo hard.
Kenneth here is deciding how to put his triggers on the stack, but it doesn't really matter. It's going to be the same outcome either way. Everything is going to get swept.
Well, no.
Well, actually, that's not
Alan
true,
gets
because
to
now
choose if he draws
yeah,
it or not.
now he actually keeps more energy.
Yeah.
So he should have actually waited. He should have put the Lashweed Lurker trigger last on the stack,
Moeten we
probably.
nu naar kijken? Maar ja, dat is play.
But
It's still
Alan doesn't.
Alan.
Ja,
Alan
dat
should-
hij gewoon
Ja,
blijft.
zo moet staan.
Ah, dat is de nieuwe map.
Ah, no, yeah. No.
Yeah.
Weet je wat
He
jullie
should.
hebben gedaan?
Yeah,
Then
put
he
the
uses
damage
the
on the
energy.
bottom.
Yeah. Then he uses the energy. So actually,
Ik ga direct moven.
Jelle Geeselink, one of the other competitors, just came by to tell us, and I think he's actually correct. We would have to check the replay. But remember when I said that I would have put one more counter on in turn 4 or something? That would have actually been enough damage over the course of the game to put Kenneth to 0 instead of 4 here, apparently.
I think it was 3 attacks, to
Yeah.
be honest.
So, yeah, but he had more energy
Somebody
to
keeps
spare
bumping
now.
into the tent.
So, but he could have done 2 more damage last turn. So it's actually possible. We would have to check the replay that if Alan had played the most aggressive way possible, that he would have actually won this game. But we would have to check the replay. We're not entirely sure. Meantime, Kenneth is going into the late game and now firing on all cylinders, gaining life.
Souls Race zijn gewoon kapot op tijd.
Apparently a saying that we both use a lot.
Ik vond het echt
We-
grappig, die Winston had zijn jump
Firing on all
Dus
cylinders.
hij valt
I
echt
used it
gewoon
only
op de
once up
grond.
until now.
En hij neemt de lift en
Have you read your own articles?
Oh, I don't know. I think I read them, yes.
Okay, so we have a filigree
Zot met dagen?
familiar.
Ah, je zit daar, wacht. Ik kom af. Pak die lift anders al daar buiten. En ik kom daarop af.
Oh yeah, actually I just, because of chat, I just remembered Alan also forgot the energy trigger once.
Yes.
So that's definitely enough damage that he missed. That's
Dat we een
yeah,
bastion.
shows that
Ah,
even
okay.
aggressive decks you have to play very carefully
Dat we het gebouw
to make sure that you make all the correct plays, because it often comes down to just 1 damage.
So Duskwatch Recruiter
Oké, ça va.
transforms into Crown Horde Howler,
tussen twee
making
grote,
all Kenneth's creatures cheaper. That is because Alan didn't play anything in his turn,
Zal ik checken?
so
Hij zit daar ergens.
yes.
Kenneth
At this
gaining more
point-
life,
at this point it's
attacking,
academic.
it's,
Yeah, shit,
this
shit,
game
shit.
is over.
Dat was close.
Kenneth
Ja, is
keeping
het wel
back more
altijd.
creatures to make sure that he doesn't get hasted out somehow. Because Alan still has energy, so if he has a spontaneous artist into something else and a pump spell or something, then there's a small chance that he still loses.
Yeah.
So playing careful here, quite rightly. I think Alan probably has a
Kom
handful
hier
of
even
pump
een
spells.
beetje HP zoeken.
Okay, so we go to 1-1 off the missed trigger for energy, pretty much, probably.
But now Alan is on the play again, so he has a major advantage
Dat is
here.
echt grappig hoe dat is.
And also Kenneth,
Okay, so Kenneth requested a toilet break, so we have some extra time to talk about sideboards
Nee, dat is dood. Ik heb in
or
zijn
cards
taak
that you
gelopen,
would
daarom
have
ik ben doodgegaan.
liked to see in the sideboard to help this matchup. Like we mentioned that T-Merge with Rabbit Bite, Rabbit Bite,
Rabbit Bite,
Rabbit Bite,
actually,
negate it of the
rabbit
Horrid's
biting.
and Natural State didn't really have any
Daar in de buurt, daar in de buurt.
exciting cards
Yeah.
to put in. What are the kind of cards that you would have liked to see in a sideboard?
Pas op,
Actually,
vaak omhoog.
I think this is one of the major problems with
Shit, ik ben
Emerge.
laat.
I think it's late game power,
nee, die
it's
auto
staying
is goed
power,
laat. Oké,
it's
let's go.
resilience to control decks and grindy decks is
Bastion. Ah,
enormous. But its
moet
one
laat
weakness
die-
is that it can't get out its good cards if you remove the early enablers.
Ja,
And that means that any good red aggressive deck with some removal actually has a major problem here.
So how would you like to see select for inspection in a deck like this sideboard?
I think that could be fine, but it's
But is there something better?
no. That's what I was trying to say. One of the things that I don't like about this deck is that it has so little interaction. I actually think that stuff like select for inspection still isn't great. It would be a good like patch for this problem,
Yeah.
but it's probably actually still not enough because if you're playing a deck that has 4 shocks, 4 incendiary flows, and 2 unlicensed disintegrations or something, there's just no way you can ever emerge anything. So I think the solution actually is this deck. I think splashes too little. It has it can very easily play stuff like a Tune Mediator. It can it already plays the Primal Druids, and it can play Pilgrim's Eye if it wants to. So I think there's actually a chance that you want to expand the red splash or go to a black splash and have more of a Sultai emerge shell,
De beste
where
is
you
van
have
één.
more early game removal to keep off the aggressive decks.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
And one other possibility, of course, is just siding in like 04 walls or 05 walls. That would also be a possibility. The problem is that most of the good walls are actually uncommons, and you don't have the uncommon slots to spare. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Oké.
Thanks for your insights. And let's get to game 3 in this playoff in the semi-finals of the Invitational between the double slot taker and the person that comes from the same region as him.
That's very eloquent.
Haha. Now nobody has an idea what I'm talking about, but
So Alan getting a forest here with his Attune Theater, which or either actually, which means that he probably already has the mountain in hand.
excellent analysis.
Yes, I know.
He got the energy. You can't miss that energy, by the way.
Is it?
This is the kind of energy that
That's actually
comes with the
interesting.
ability.
I
This
did-
one you can miss
I
because
did-
it's a trigger.
I did not know that.
A lot of players don't know this.
It's interesting. Alan again playing the turn 2 voltaic roller.
Oké.
That's 5 games in a row.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Ik ga op die Bastion gaan, zoiets. Oké? Oh fuck, nee. Is het?
So now we get to see if Kenneth
Oké, dat is een ultra
has
Oké, ik
a
ga
way
die
to
Bastion.
get. Oh, he doesn't have a primal druid, so that's.
Did we see if Kenneth sideboarded? Because I would expect
I don't
the
think he
raided
did.
bites
Yes,
to
I would
come out.
expect them to come out, but I don't think he did. And
Hoe heeft die
I
Bastion
think
zo
that might
overleefd,
end
joh?
up
Like,
costing
die
him.
Bastion had veel sneller dood moeten zijn.
Oh wow! So there's just an attack for 4 here and no play from Alan. So I'm guessing he has all of his more expensive cards in hand. Or maybe he's waiting
I
with
think I
it.
see Gear Hulk as top card
That's a
and
pretty good
Artist under it.
Yeah.
And then land and something.
Well, if he can go Artist with haste next turn, that's also a pretty fine curve. It's a little bit worse than having a 3-drop here.
Yeah. So
He's still
Kenneth
fine.
gets a Duskwatch with his grapple. Decimator is in the graveyard, so that's available for future grapples.
Choosing not to get it here because it's a very late game card.
I
It
think
doesn't
that
help
taking
him
the
here.
Duskwatch is by far
Yeah,
the
yeah,
better
I
choice.
totally agree. I actually think there's a decent chance that you might want to take out stuff like Decimator of the Provinces in this kind of matchup because it's so powerful, but it will always cost a lot of mana and there's a very big chance that you don't have a board. So.
Now this deck is very good in saving up stuff for later,
Yes.
like we see now, so
That's true. I
Okay.
think Kenneth again has the Kozilek's return.
Foul Emissary gets to dig for something else. We see a Rabbit Bite,
so he
so it's still in the deck.
I would get the familiar
don't
here, I think. I don't agree with keeping them
Yes.
either.
I somewhat understand keeping it on the play, but not on the draw.
Here, Alan wants to have a removal spell. Yes, this is good.
That's a Harnessed Lightning.
Harnessed Lightning. And he's actually only spending 1 energy, so he now has 5 energy to spare. If he can go Spontaneous Artist, he's not going to play the Artist.
Oké, laten we kijken wat voor
Or he
It was something else.
must have been something else. I think it might be another Harnessed Lightning. actually.
Ja, wat klein.
Possible.
Kamer.
I think it's the only red card with a light art he has otherwise.
Possible. So Kenneth will play
We
the
spelen tegen allerlei mensen die nog geen level 100 zijn. Dus bij level
probably contemplating if he wants to play the Kozilek's return. He knows that Alan has a lot of pump spells, so it's dangerous, but he would have it for future turns. And Alan hasn't
Actually,
been playing
he knows
anything.
Alan doesn't have a lot of them and hasn't really played any so far.
That's true.
Ja,
So we get the Filigree Familiar that he got off
Shit.
Foul Emissary.
Gains him life, and there's no Harnessed
Kom de
Lightning
winst achter mij.
from Alan. So here he's going to be playing the Gear Hulk, and like we saw in the match against me, that's a very, very good card.
Beetje leven nodig.
3 and 1?
Uh,
3 on the Voltaic? Or even 4 on the Voltaic?
no, I think
I think 3 and 1
Guys,
is.
pretty much that.
yeah, I think 3 and 1, or you keep 6 on the you keep 6 on the Gear Hulk to protect from Kozilek's return, which is it's a heads up play by Alan. It's again the less aggressive play, but it's a lot safer. But now, on the other hand, like even if there's a Lashweed Lurker now from Kenneth,
Ze zijn. Oh,
he doesn't really want to put the Gear Hulk back on top, and if he puts the Brawler on top, then the Gear Hulk can attack through. So this is actually a very good placement of counters, I think, by Alan. It's very well done.
is het?
Wat heb je melee attack in deze map?
Ik heb geen melee attack op deze PC. Dat ik mijn bindings staan anders.
Zijn er 4 bases?
Ja, maar niet hier. Ik heb mijn melee attack op mijn muis gezet thuis. Ik wil mijn settings ook niet veranderen als ik hier speel. Capiche?
Okay, so Kenneth looking for. Wait, do we know he has a Lashweed?
I'm not sure, but he has to have some kind of a creature here, I think, or he would have probably blocked and tried to draw.
Maar dat gaat niet. Kijk, het ding is van, ik heb hier...
Actually, that's not even true because the Voltaic Brawler has trample, so even chum blocking there is not very good.
Yeah,
It could be that he's just in a very bad spot here and has
I'm afraid he
no way to.
doesn't have any other.
No, I think he
I
has
saw
only
Rabbit Bite,
enablers.
Filigree,
Eigenlijk zou ik dat moeten beginnen stoppen om dat te doen, want dan ben je toch niet...
Reg Griffs, double Reg Griff, Filigree Familiar, Duskwatch Recruiter, Rabbit Bite.
Aan de wat? Aan de andere kant?
Yeah, this is
Reg-
actually
Reg Griff into
one cool play. If he played the Kozilek's return earlier, then there was a chance that he
He
would
doesn't have it, I think.
I think he does.
Het kan misschien een tourbillon geweest zijn.
Well, if he had it and he played it earlier, then he would have been able to
Ja, oké, maar twee bastions hebben ze al sinds.
go Wretched Griff
Oké, wacht.
and then Rabid Bite, the 6 toughness creature.
Oké,
Ja.
zo.
But as it stands, I think it's just too little, too late here.
Kom, we gaan langs hier. Binnen.
I don't see the Kozilek's return.
No,
in that.
maybe I missaw. Maybe I
Ik ga nog een
missaw.
beetje wachten tot dat. Ik ga nog een beetje wachten tot hij terug zit.
He's gonna play a Desquatcher Scooter here,
Leef, wacht
So
ook
we
een
have
beetje.
a
hoping to at least double block something to death. But he's going to take trample damage and then probably die on the next turn.
So we have Wretch Griff into. He has to do
Play
something.
it. I'm guessing he's playing Desquatch Repeater.
Yes, because the Rabbit Bite doesn't take care of the
Yeah, it doesn't do anything. His plan here has to be to try and double block the brawler
Jij gooit die
and then
rood.
hope that he somehow gets rid of the Gearhulk, but I don't even know if he has a card in
Wat
his
is
deck that
Hier,
does
hier,
that.
hier. Oké. Ik ga erin.
Alan has an easy
Ja,
decision.
gooi hem hier maar
Yeah.
in. Let's go.
It's just
It's
attack,
pretty much every
attack,
decision.
attack, yes.
Alpha Strike or no. Every turn.
His decision is basically where do I put my counters, where do I distribute my energy, but his creatures are always going to
fuck, the
get
bastion
tapped.
is
So
me. Fuck.
So Kenneth can try,
En hij heeft zijn turret ook
can
nog
double
een keer
block
veranderd ook, hè,
and try to kill
Die tourbillon heeft zijn
the
turret
brawler.
ook
yeah, I think
Ze
that's
hebben nu ons
That's pretty much the only.
well. They both have trample, so it's the only play he can make. But I still don't know what he can have on the next turn that gets him back into this game. And I think he knows it. You can see it in his body language.
Ja, maar ik had die bastion ook bijna, want die bastion leeft goed constant.
Oh, and this is a okay. This is a pump spell on the Gearhulk, which does 9 damage.
And that is over. We have Alan with red-green energy. The Fun Police going into the finals. That's